Put your two thumbs down here.
Like a flute.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then just blow. You're amazing.
It doesn't sound like it when you do it. Hey everyone, welcome to The Earn Up. I am Belva Anakawenze, and I know you're used to seeing me here giving you financial tips and tricks. But today I have a very special guest. I have David Eric Ramos with us today. He is a musician and a specialist of the Ocarina. He is a digital content creator, a composer, a teacher, a performer, and more. Hey, David.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, so I have to be honest. I have never heard of the Ocarina. Can you please tell me what this is?
You're not alone. Most people don't know that this thing is real, but yes, I actually have one right here. So this ocarina, this instrument, dates back about 4,000 years old, and they are ceramic flutes. I actually discovered through a popular video game series, if you know, you know, but it's Zelda. I forgot my very first one when I was about 14 or 15 years old, fell in love with the sound, played all my favorite tunes, and then I started collecting them.
Can you play something for me?
Oh, totally.
I love it.
I actually brought an extra one if you want to try it.
I would love to. Now, I played flute for one semester in junior high.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's going to help me now, but let's see.
There's one hole for every finger. So there's 8 holes on top and then 2 holes on the bottom like this. Imagine you're holding it like this and then you turn it.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's going to take a lot more practice. Now tell me how you turned this into a business.
I saw the possibilities of this instrument and I wanted to teach people this is what the instrument is capable of and this is what you personally can do with the ocarina, and that's been my mission ever since. But one of the biggest struggles that I've faced so far is understanding how to pay myself. I have my business income, my business expenses, but also my personal expenses, and I'm just not sure that I'm separating the two correctly.
My suggestions always they're layered and they have a number of factors that go into how I answer the question. Are you comfortable sharing me about what your profit would be in a year?
I usually make 40 to 45K.
In profit?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, after taxes, maybe it's around 13K.
Okay, yeah. Being a sole proprietor or an LLC is perfectly fine. And the way that works when you are a sole proprietor or a single member LLC is that you just simply take draws from the company. And that's what you've been doing. As long as you have separated your business account from your personal bank account and you're keeping everything separate, you're doing everything correctly. As long as you're saving for your taxes, paying estimated taxes, you are already on track.
Yeah, so I do have a sole proprietorship, but when is it an appropriate time to transition to the LLC?
There's no tax difference at all between a sole proprietorship or an LLC. So the only reason why you would do an LLC at any stage is really just to simply avoid liability. And that would be from a legal perspective, right? Now, if we're talking about financial benefits, like tax benefits, you may want to look at doing an LLC that's taxed like an S Corp or becoming an S Corp or a corporation, right? And once you get to those levels, then it makes a little bit more sense to do it. But then you're talking about profit usually of about 150 for it to make sense.
So you just mentioned the S Corp and corporations. That's about as far as I go. Can you dive a little bit deeper into that? And what are other organizations that you could put together?
So I think the question we're talking about is how you pay yourself, right? The difference when you have an S Corp is that you need to pay yourself a reasonable salary. And that means you're actually putting yourself on payroll. Your company's acting like the employer. You're acting as the employee. So there's payroll taxes on both sides. You still can pull the same draws down, but in addition to the draws, you also are an employee. And the difference with a regular corporation is you don't take the draws at all. It all happens through a salary or dividends that you pay out.
That sounds in one way very beneficial, but from what I'm understanding, that might be more trouble than it's worth.
Again, everyone's situation is different, but 100% there is huge tax savings and there's fun things you can do in retirement when you have these different variations on how you pay yourself through these different entities. But sometimes, to your point, it's more trouble than it's worth until you're really bringing in the money that substantiates the amount of work that goes into it. If you think about it, of what projects do you decide to take and not take? You sometimes won't take the lower paying gig because it's not worth your time.
Right.
You have to think about that when it comes to your business structure. Is it worth your energy and time and money you're going to spend to save a couple $1,000s?
You just mentioned retirement. I feel like as a creator and with other creators I've spoken to, that is such an afterthought when a lot of us are trying to make it month to month with what we make as creators. What are some tips you would have for saving for retirement?
Include it in your monthly budget. No matter what, you have to plan for retirement. So that first thing is it should be part of your expenses. The same way you pay rent, your car note, your insurance, you should be having retirement as a line item in your budget. The next thing is just start. Like even if it's $25 a month or whatever it is, you have to start putting money away and know that that money is earmarked for your golden years and it's not for today.
So I'm wondering if creators should think of it as paying themselves within certain brackets. So you have your personal salary, you have what goes towards your business, and then what you are putting aside for retirement. So is percentages, is that the easiest way to think about it?
You have to realize that retirement accounts and how you fund retirement, there's usually thresholds, and those thresholds are annual limits you can put in every year. So sometimes it's not a percentage. It actually be like if you can max out your 401k at $18,000 or $20,000 or whatever the limit is for the year, your goal could be that. If you know you can't afford that, then maybe your goal is $10,000 and maybe it is a percentage. So there's no clear-cut way to do it. My suggestion is always try to do the maximum you can while still being able to pay your bills and you not eating cat food. Your cats can eat cat food, but you can't.
Right. So if we had to look at it as like priorities, from what I'm understanding, put a roof over your head and make sure you have food on the table. But then when it comes to retirement and investing in your business, is there a certain order that you would put those in?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, to your point, you need to eat, you need a place to sleep. But the next thing is always going to be an emergency fund. I always say 3 to 6 months and maybe even longer. So that means 3 to 6 months set aside of everything you would need to make sure the roof stays over your head and that you can continue to eat and have a life, right? I mean, that doesn't mean go shopping and all that other fun stuff, but enough to survive. Then the next thing would be things like retirement or long-term savings, long-term goals, etc. And honestly, the number one mistake most creators make is actually not thinking about retirement. We always live in this very fast-paced microwave age where everything happens now or thinking about today and not tomorrow. It's important that the first thing you do is just start thinking about it and then start investing today.
So honestly, this is really relevant to me because I have not personally started saving for retirement.
I mean, the most important part is now you're getting the information and then you're going to start today. And even if it's $25 a month, you have to start today because inflation, especially now, inflation is outpacing any money you have in savings. So your dollar that you had in the bank account 2 years ago is not worth the same dollar it is now. So you have to have your money invested in some form or fashion. So hopefully those gains will at least keep you up with or outpace inflation.
As opposed to having it in a shoebox under your bed.
Under your mattress. Under your mattress does not work.
Yeah.
Under your mattress works if there's like you need to run real quick and you grab some cash.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to be your retirement or your long-term savings. So why haven't you started investing or thinking about retirement?
Living as a creator, your income fluctuates a lot. And so I, at this point, am kind of living month to month. I do have debt, college debt, and I also have business expenses that now I have to consider. But thinking about everything that we've talked about, I think I can restructure some stuff to at least put aside $100 a month towards my retirement and be okay.
And don't forget the emergency fund too. You have to do them both.
Yeah.
But also remember, you can also think about those extra gigs that you get that you are not counting on, that are not part of your budget. You can set that money aside as well and use that specifically for that.
Yes.
David, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate all of your questions and your thoughtfulness, so thank you.
It was my pleasure, thank you.
And thank you all for joining us on the Earn Up. And remember, as always, this video is for informational purposes only, so make sure you consult with legal and financial professionals to see what works best for you. Until next time, go be creative with your business.